Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inspiration for Your Day, the video edition. I'm your host, Nicole Georges Bennett, and as always, it is such a joy to have you here with me. I want to start off by saying, first of all, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, Nicole G's World. I will come up with something a bit more creative at some point, but I'm very happy that you've decided to subscribe to the channel, and I hope that you are enjoying the video edition of Inspiration for Your Day. All those of you who listen to the audio podcast every Monday. This is a new way to come at the program, and I'm really excited to be able to share it with you. So my guest today, I'm very excited. Some very good people and good friends, and I'm happy to have them here on Inspiration for Your Day, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But first, I'd like to welcome Yusef and Felisha Ramnarace. Felisha Ramnarace. Thank you guys for being here today. So the reason I'm excited to have them here is because we are going to be talking about marriage, and coincidentally, it happens that today is their wedding anniversary. So welcome. And happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
So it is literally just a coincidence that we happen to have this discussion on such a special day for them. So I hope that your anniversary celebrations have been going well so far, guys.
Yes, it is. Yes. It's another day in paradise. Let's say it that way.
And how many years do we have under our belt?
36 years and counting.
Wow. You don't look like old enough to have been married that long, but
thank you.
That is wonderful, and congratulations. So, Felisha, I'm going to start with you. What's the secret?
The secret is lots of patience. A lot of patience, and marriage is something that you work at every day. There's no secret. Marriage is not perfect. Nobody's marriage is perfect. But patience and being a good listener.
Because, of course, as we know, the institution of marriage has been taking quite a beating, in our society these last few years. And I understand even during the pandemic lockdown, we've had an increase in the number of divorces as couples now find themselves, I guess, unable to get away from each other because they have to coexist, and there's no escaping to work or to church or to anywhere else. So maybe, Yusef, I'll turn this one over to you. What do you feel what is it about being in lockdown that you feel, or you, in your opinion, seems to put such stress on marriages?
To be honest with you, I think what happens with couples is that we take a lot of things for granted, and marriage is about sharing. And when there's no sharing involved or time spent in quality conversations, in being able to speak what's in your heart, because everybody needs to be heard. So what happens is there might be a communication problem there in aspect of that, because obviously if we're in the presence of somebody every day, we take a lot of things for granted. So I think what we have to look at is to find ways and means to actually enjoy each other's company without actually getting on each other's nerves. In other words, we all know what our gifts are. And I think what happens, it gives us that space, even within the home, to do the things that we are gifted to do. So Felisha might be gifted in something else, and I am. So that, it doesn't create a strain when she's doing her stuff, she's enjoying, and I'm doing my stuff, I'm enjoying. And we're actually sharing that joy together by talking about it, or even encouraging each other to come and do something with each other. So what might be causing it is the fact of lack of communication, the issue of spending quality time and talking about the things that are most important. Sometimes we tend to focus on the negatives instead of the positives. I always believe it's important to focus on the gratitude or the thanksgiving of things, so that when the challenges come up, it is easy to talk about those things without getting on each other's nerves.
I think that's a very astute observation, and I'm sure that it's probably ringing a few bells for some folks right now. So the two of you have decided, or have launched, a new marriage mentorship ministry. I hope I remembered the correct title of it. And this will be under the auspices of the Lakeside Church, which is based right here in Toronto. And full disclosure, is my church as well. So tell us about this new ministry that you are are launching? Either one of you can jump in here.
Okay.
Well, I'll just go back. Is it okay if I go back for a little background as to why this ministry was launched? So I guess, first of all, we have to thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He saved our marriage. 14 years ago, we came close to divorce. And the first 14 years, sorry, forgive me. The first 14 years. So we just existed. So what happened was that we had a void in our lives. And that void was having God in the center of everything. Because we were developed to have relationship with God and each other, right? So when we miss that void, we tend to want to replace it with other things. And those things are just temporary. And when that void is there, we try to expect the other person to fill that void. Yeah. And in life, no human could really fill those voids except God. So coming back to the thing is, we came close to divorce in the first 14 years, all because we were just existing and doing things in our own ways. But then Jesus rescued us. He saved our marriage. And we saw immediate transformation into our lives. We really truly, Felicia came to me and she said that night, I really truly understand what true love is. Yeah. And I think love, what Jesus has taught us, is the fact that love God and love others. And when we start loving others in the way Christ loves us, we see things in a different light. So coming to your question about the mentorship, as we were going around learning different things and we have looked at some of the programs and stuff, it was in our heart, we always had a tendency to speak to other people and try and lift them up from where they are. One of my favorite verses is to build and encourage each other from 1 Thessalonians 5:11. And I saw the same thing in my wife, and I saw there was like something special about the fact that we could speak life, because the Bible talks about the issue of the tongue. We could speak life or we could speak death, you see. So it is important that we speak life. And because of what we have gone through and where we are now in our marriage, I think we are in a really good place to actually use those stories, use our story to help other people understand what they're going through and let them know that, we're there to support them. So this was the reason why it was launched. One day we were looking at a program through Family Life, and they had a program called Marriage Mentorship Initiative. So we signed up for it. It was a 3-hour course, and it basically is directing you how to become a mentor and what mentors are all about. And when we found out we had those qualities, it's things like caring about people, being authentic about yourself, things about commitment, being committed to the people you want to help, and caring about them and building trust with them. We realized those qualities were part of us as we were through our marriage, with the leadership of Jesus in it. And we said, you know what, we really like to do this. So seeing what's happening, based on stats and all that's all around in North America in reference to marriages and how many marriages actually fail and so forth, we say, you know what, mentorship is key. Mentorship is key. We are not what you call counselors, first of all. We are mentors. We walk alongside with each other, with the couples, and we encourage them. We use different techniques or different to talk about things like conflict and loving, showing love and gratitude and all that kind of stuff. So we really wanted to do it because we want to help other people. And I think the best place to start is at your church, you see, because you have a relationship already established there. So that was the reason we really wanted to get into marriage mentoring. I think we could really do something as a couple to help other people.
Felisha, is that your sentiment as well, or do you have different goals?
No, it's the same. Before we got married, we didn't have anybody to mentor us, and we didn't know what marriage was all about until later in life. And then we realized, we needed the guidance of God first, and then eventually we get to learn to love each other differently. And we had that passion to help others in the same, because, to help others what we have been through. So it's a good stepping stone.
Do you find that, or do you think that premarital counseling could go a long way for some of these couples, just to kind of avoid some of the mistakes, I guess, that happen in the early years of marriage?
Yes, definitely. If we had mentors, we would have, lived differently.
Mm-hmm. It's important, I believe, that pre-counseling is important, very important.
Mm-hmm.
I think what is also very important is that if you have mentors come alongside young couples when they get married, it will help guide them, because as young couples, as when we first got married, we weren't taught what marriage was all about. It was just for us to you graduate from school, you find a job, you get married, and you just go your way, right? Do your stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't know within marriage that what God has created, there's also laws, if you want to put it that way. When I say laws, we have to know marriage must come first. And what happens is that most of us, we tend to put marriage somewhere down the line. So first is our relationship with God. That is number one. But then the priority of my wife must be number one. If you understand, say my relationship with God in terms of my relationship, but in terms of physical, no, my wife is number one. What has happened, and I have experienced this as well, through marriage, is the fact that I put everything else, serving, doing this, doing that, all with good intentions. But then my wife had to know that she was number one in my life, that she was number one. So priorities are a really key thing. And, in order to let the wife know that she's priority, it has to be shown with actions. You see, like spending quality time with them, being able to let them know what am I willing to give up to show those things. You see, so it requires a lot of work.
For sure.
Yes. So
what are some of the
I'm sorry?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I was just going to ask you, what are some of the things that you cover in the program?
Okay, so the program, basically, we start off from a point of things like we talk about gratitude. We talk about showing love. We talk about conflict resolution. We talk about communication, money. There's many topics, but we try not to, because you need to develop a relationship with the couple so that they can trust you and they could learn from the things that you want to teach them. It's important to start from a point of thanksgiving, gratitude. When you start there, you see the difference in the thing, like, simple questions like, so how did you meet? And what was it like? And all these kind of, so it takes them back in a place of joy, because, when people first meet, the excitement is there and all that. But somewhere along the line, we forget to really remember those things. Like how we used to pursue our wife or girlfriends before they became our wives. So for instance, like for Felicia, I would clean the car and do all that kind of stuff and make sure I was driving properly. And then as soon as they get married, it's like, whoa, all that goes through the door, right? So I have to remember to always pursue my wife and things like that. So there's there's 14 topics we talk about, but we try to give the couples the options to choose after. And what we normally would do is when we meet with the couples, we'll explain everything there, because honestly, commitment is required by both sides, the mentee and the mentor. Without commitment, it will not work. And I also say this, that it all comes down to the couple, if the couples really, really want to change. Because it doesn't matter what you tell people to do, or suggest, sorry, not tell, but whatever guidance you give people, it is important to put it into practice. Right. And they want to. So, you can go to the best of counselors, I believe, and they'll give you all the information you want. But again, it's just like you have to put it into practice, into everyday practice. So,
Felisha, is this ministry about helping people who are experiencing marital conflict, or are you trying to sort of preempt that, trying to kind of get in on the ground floor and stopping the conflict before it even starts? So for example, if there's a couple right now that are struggling or having marital issues, is this the ministry for them? Or
yes, definitely. Yes, if they're looking for help and looking for the help and actually doing what they need to get done, that's important. You can only guide people so long, but they have to make an initial effort to try. So we do a lot of practices with them, and they have to try whatever we ask them to do, and then we get feedback from them.
Can you give me an example of an exercise?
We have something called gratitude. You have a
yeah.
It's called the 30-day challenge. right? And each day you can do something with your spouse or for your spouse. So I'll give you an example. This one is called to serve. Pick one chore your spouse does not like to do and do it without being asked.
That sounds like a really good idea.
That was a challenge for me, actually.
I can imagine.
Another one is to celebrate. You can celebrate with your spouse, like take a walk or have a coffee and reflect on the best moments from the past.
Yeah.
This is some things you can do with your spouse. Encourage each other. Surprise your spouse with a favorite treat, something that you say and say that, like, I was thinking about you. You can either send them a text or make a phone call, something to surprise them in the middle of the day for no reason. Things like that. It really sparks the relationship.
Wonderful. All right. So we are actually wrapping up our time. So Yusef, what I would like to give you the opportunity to do is to share your contact information with any couples who might be listening and want to get in on the ground floor and see, and be a part of your new ministry. Can you give us the contact information, please?
Yeah, sure. No problem. It's married couples at the lakesidechurch.ca. You send an email and it'll be forwarded to us, and then we'll get in contact with the individuals or the couples. And what they will then go from there. This is for anybody any couples who are experiencing issues, or, as I say, in the ground floor, because we intend to help everybody where we possibly can, and our goal is to always glorify God in everything we say and do, in our actions, but also to help our fellow brothers and sisters in every aspect of their life, especially in marriage.
So can you repeat the email address, please?
Yes, certainly. Married couples at the lakesidechurch.ca.
All right. Before we go, are there any final thoughts that you'd like to share? Felisha, I'll throw that to you.
You want to share anything?
Yeah, actually, my wife is a little shy, so she's very shy. But that's what compliments us, because I'm on the opposite side, right? I want to thank you, first of all, for giving us the opportunity in being able to let couples know that they're not alone. That, we are here as a church body to help our fellow brothers and sisters, to walk alongside with them. And it's just a matter of making contact, and we'll talk to them, and we'll be able to direct their path, in other words. We just want to be a ministry that will be part of a solution. See, I always believe whatever we do, we must do it to bring a solution to certain things. And I believe by mentoring other couples, it helps reduce divorce rates. It helps improve marriage quality and marriage life as well. So for all the couples out there who are looking for any kind of direction or support in their marriage, or trying to get their marriage better, there are many, many organizations out there you can reach out to, depending where you are. But ultimately, our goal also is not just to be mentors, but to also develop mentors. So the ultimate goal would be something like this. Let's say we start with a few. We made those mentors, we do mentees, and as time goes along, we build more mentors so that they could go out and help their fellow brothers and sisters, not just in the church, but in the community and other places. You see, so that would be a really nice goal to set. And, hopefully God will direct everything, direct the paths of this ministry.
I'm sure it is for His glory.
Amen to that. Yes.
So, guys, I just want to thank you so much for being on Inspiration for Your Day and sharing your vision for your ministry.
I thank you very much for giving us the opportunity.
Yes.
And to my lovely wife, too. Yes, you
do. Once again, happy anniversary to both of you. And I'm going to let you go so you can go enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
I appreciate the kindness. God bless you.
Welcome. You're welcome. And thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Inspiration for Your Day, the video edition, and we will see you back next time. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.